On the news at 7, criminals and illegal miners' activities will soon face fire as President Tinubu orders clearing of forests and coastal areas. Center for Indigenous Studies Forum advocates for inclusiveness of Nigeria's culture and traditional activities in universities. And Muslim women celebrate as the world marks International Hijab Day. A very good evening and thank you very much for joining us on the news at 7 p.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. I am Mariam Abubakar Kana. We begin with the presidency. President Bola Tinubu has ordered the cleaning up of the forests and coastal areas to rid them of criminals and illegal miners. The Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas Lawal, has been asked to champion this cause with another commitment by the President to strengthen the National Biosafety Management Agency. Charles Alpha reports.
The recent alarming rate of killings of forest guards, wildlife crimes, poaching, activities of illegal miners, and likely threats from imported genetically modified products into Nigeria are never going to be allowed to continue. And this is why the Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas, was mandated to deliver the marching orders to the concerned agencies under the ministry. The National Park Service and National Biosafety Management Agency are central in this regard for the development and enhancement of the Nigeria's game reserves for tourism.
There is no agency that the President asked me about and asked me to explain how they operate. He asked me 3 times, do they bear arms? I said, yes, they bear arms. They are not a paramilitary, so then he was happy because of the issues of security that are devil the nation. I wrote a letter to the Minister of Defense to give us more arms. But what I'm thinking of is that rather than going for arms from the Minister of Defense, we'll now convince the President to allow us to buy.
Headquarters, we had 20 projects, and we have executed up to 95%. Some are yet to be completed. We sincerely thank the President and the Honourable Minister for this effort.
What are the consequences that we envisage when there's unregulated practice of modern biotechnology? These include possibility of misapplication.
As the agencies introduce the minister to their modes of operations, on the whole, teamwork, commitment to duty, mentoring and collaboration with state governments are deemed essential to realizing these orders. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
The Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has inspected the ongoing work on the access road to the metro station ahead of May project deadline. Onoze Yakubu brings us details.
Construction of the access routes to the Abuja metro station is now receiving priority attention, all in a bid to meet the May deadline when the President is expected to ride on the metro line.
It's important is that we want to fulfill the promise we have made to Mr. President and the residents of Abuja that God willing, everything be the equal, we will use the metro line. And for me, it is a major breakthrough so that this can reduce the influx of vehicles to the city, and it's going to help us a lot.
FCT Minister further discloses that arrangements have been put in place to ensure proper funding of the projects.
When we did the supplementary national budget, we included what we call emergency. And so these roads come under the emergency. And like I said before, that the Minister of Finance has released 50% of what is provided. And we're also going to make sure that we also made the same provision in our 2024 statutory budget. So that if the fund in the national budget is not enough, then we complement with what is in the statutory budget.
The projects inspected are the ongoing construction of access roads to Wupa and Basenjiwa train stations, as well as the Idu Industrial District Road, where the minister was taking round different sections of the ongoing work. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, residents of Pekonkore Community Gwagwalada Area Council rolled out drums to celebrate the flag off of 9-kilometer rural road by the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. Onoze Yakubu again reports that the project is part of the 30 meters road to be constructed across the 6 area councils.
Peikonkore and Ibua communities have been described as the food basket of Gwagwalada Area Council. The road has been in a deplorable condition for years, giving room for the criminal elements to perpetrate their dastardly acts. The flag of the Area Council Chairman Abubakar Giri and the community leaders say will address this challenge and boost the socio-economic activities in the area.
After completion of this project, we, the people of Gwagwalada Council, will still come to you, our father, to ask for more.
So please, contractor, if you don't give one excuse without you, please.
FCT Minister Nyesom Wike says his administration is changing the narratives of infrastructure development at the grassroots. He assures that funding will not be a hindrance, hence the need for the contractor to fulfill his own side of the bargain by ensuring timely completion of the project.
And so, Mr. President directed to let you know that the New Hope agenda is not by mere talking. The New Hope agenda is for you to see that we are ready to bring back hope to our people. We are ready to bring back hope to the rural populace. We are ready to make our people in the rural area to be comfortable.
For too long, the lack of proper roads and infrastructure has hindered the progress of our rural communities. Farmers have struggled for transporting their produce to markets. Students have faced difficulties reaching schools, and medical emergencies have been compounded by the challenge of accessing timely health care.
What is happening today is one of the measures that will curb insecurity in FCT.
The project is expected to be completed in May 29 this year. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Moving on, the Vice Chancellor, University of Abuja, Professor Abdulrashid Na'Allah, has advocated inclusiveness of Nigeria's cultural and traditional activities in the university's curricula as a means of acknowledging the indigenous people and owners of the land on which campuses are sited. He was speaking at the University of Abuja Center for Indigenous FCT Study Stakeholders Forum in a bid to tackle the fast eroding cultures and traditions in Nigeria. Hadiza Godwin Ebuni has more.
Vice Chancellor, University of Abuja, Professor Abdulrashid Na'Allah notes that the establishment of Center for Indigenous FCT Studies will play an important role in the connective process and meaningful forms of engagement, as it will involve mapping of historical sites.
We want to make sure that the indigenous community of FCT will forever and forever be buoyant. Because if they are happy, then Nigeria itself will have done justice.
Some ethnicities are going to extinct. We need to study all aspects, their traditional setting, their politics, their law, their medicine, their costume, their custom, their legal system, traditional legal system, their traditional architecture.
Co-chairman of the Stakeholders Forum, Senator Philip Tanimu Aduja, and other stakeholders say a historical tipping point appears to have been reached with diverse initiatives now evident.
This is very laudable, and is a project that was initiated by the VC, but supported and powered by me as well. So we're going to look at it, we're going to work on it, and we're going to ensure that we give the maximum support that we can.
If you have somebody who have come up to institutionalize where a people, a race, will be studied, is such that it will help in government as they come up with policies on how to cater for this particular set of people.
Traditional rulers in the territory say the University of Abuja harbors a wealth of design landscapes, both historic and contemporary, that provide a tangible record of evolving social, cultural, and intellectual values.
The people, their culture, their tradition, their customs, norms and values will be preserved.
I hope and pray that this center, in the end, will be able to answer those numerous questions that have been left unanswered.
Stakeholders unanimously agreed that the center will enhance equitable access to employment, empowerment programs, development, and livelihood opportunities in the country. Hadiza Godwin Ebuni, NTA News.
Education is said to be the passport to the future which the children belong to. Aisha Bashir reports that this highlights the importance of helping children who cannot afford to go to school, as Shining Light Kingdom Builders Church demonstrated in a road walk titled Love for Kids.
The road walk is part of Children's Sabbath program. Participants and volunteers marched around Gurki town, creating awareness on the importance of raising funds for indigent children in the FCT.
We looked around Abuja, especially the hinterlands of Abuja, and found out there were lots of children that were not going to school. There were lots of children who were too poor to attend school. So we thought that it was very important for us to raise funds, get school fees, send them to school for free since their families couldn't send them.
A lot of people are not going to school, not because they are not willing, but because their parents don't have the means to send them to school.
We pray or hope that the government will actually come and support us in a tangible kind of way, where we're able to pay these school fees, we're able to buy the medications needed, we're able to bring in skills acquisition to the schools and really develop these children to create value in them so that they can be productive individuals in the society.
The organization is appealing to the government as well as good-spirited individuals for assistance to raise funds for children's education in fulfillment of its aims and objectives. Aisha Bashir, NTA News.
Good evening, glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it is on that note we welcome you to today's edition of the program.
We celebrate creativity, lasting impressions.
There's no book stating that this is the role for men.
On the news.
On the news at 7.
The
Media station NTA Channel 5, Abuja.
Would say have a lovely day.
Glad to have you back. A new commissioner of police has been appointed and deployed to the Federal Capital Territory Command. He is CP Benneth Igwe. This followed the promotion of the former CP Haruna Garba to the substantive rank of Assistant Inspector General of Police, AIG. Correspondent Onotu Yakubu in this report brings us insights into the exploits of the man, Benneth Igwe, in his previous duties in policing the nation's capital.
A quintessential and thoroughbred officer. Commissioner of Police Benneth Igwe is one police officer that is feared and dreaded by criminals of all sorts, especially around the confines of the Federal Capital Territory. The no-nonsense Benneth Igwe is an operations asset regarded by observers as the engine room of policing in the FCT in the last couple of years. Evidently so, his dominance of FCT boundary communities as DC operations of the command, where he spearheaded and marshaled special operations such as Save G7, Operation Velvet, Anti-Kidnapping, and Forest Save, among others, bettered positive events to reshape the security architecture of the nation's capital under his coordination.
We are pursuing them. The informant that is with us here has told us where they are. By the grace of God, we are moving further. And they know we are already here. So it's a fight to fight. We are going to handle it.
2 weeks ago, January 17th, the Inspector General of Police launched the Special Intervention Squad on FCT security situation, commanded by CP Bennett Igwe, with a strict order to end the relative threats to security in the area. And as expected, he commanded the squad under the sun and darkness of the nights, bringing immediate respite to the situation, a position he held until his deployment to the command.
You can see how happy they are, and they said many of them have come back. They have come back, and they're happy they're back in their homes. Instead of running away, they are now back in their homes, and our continuous visit will ensure and further show that building confidence in them.
We are very happy to see a new commissioner of police who is going to be interacting with us, to be like mingling with us, to get the details.
The excitement is such that it will calm nerves and restore confidence.
Popularly known for his 4-point operational policing mantra of criminals either facing him in duel, be in his cell, on the run, or relocating, Bennett Igwe takes the mantle of leadership at the FCT Police Command at a period when much is expected to deal with the scourge of kidnapping and one chance which have dominated the space in recent times. How much will he bring to bear in this regard against high security expectations of the FCT residents? Only time will judge. Onoto Yakobo, NTA News.
The hijab represents modesty, virtue, and respect for every Muslim woman. Hawa Gimba takes a look at the head covering as an identity for Muslim women.
It will interest you to know that not only Muslim women put on hijab. Some women who cherish modesty also adorn the hijab. No wonder a day is set aside to spread the awareness on the importance of the hijab, as well as addressing the challenges Muslim women who adorn the hijab face.
Let us blaze the trail in our chosen fields of endeavor and be examples, reference points, not for negativity, but for all that is decent, humane, productive, and proactive.
We are committed to spreading this message through all possible ways until it is widely understood and embraced.
Celebration of the World Hijab Day started 12 years ago, and the Coalition of Nigerian Muslim Women is committed to constructive engagement with various stakeholders on the significance of hijab by Muslim girls and women. Hawa Gimba, NTA News.
The new Executive Secretary, Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission (NCPC), Bishop Stephen Adegbite, has promised to inject new ideas into the workings and operations of the NCPC in line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu. Bishop Stephen Adegbite stated this upon assumption of office at the headquarters in Abuja. Abdullahi Ajia reports.
Bishop Stephen Adegbite is the fourth substantive executive secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission. He is reporting for the first time to familiarize himself with his new environment in his capacity to deliver on the mandate and expectations of the president and Nigerian Christian pilgrims. The new headsman, who is coming with more than 2 decades of experience in pilgrimage affairs, is desirous of a better approach to the operations of the commission that will add value.
The biggest room in the world is the room of improvements. We appreciate the work of our predecessors, but we are here to contribute our own quota to key into the theme agenda of Mr. President. So there will be a renewed hope, a new dawn in NCPC from today, and there will be satisfaction.
The NCPC Executive Secretary said for target goals to be achieved, a wide range of collaboration and consultation will be established with staff and critical partners. Bishop Adegbite emphasized that Israel remains the ultimate pilgrimage destination for all Nigerian Christians. As such, prayers must be intensified for peace in Jerusalem.
The ultimate end of any pilgrimage is Jerusalem, where Jesus walked, where he was born, where he died, where he resurrected, where he ascended.
Until his appointment by President Tinubu, Bishop Stephen Adegbite was the Chairman Christian Association of Nigeria CAN, Lagos State Chapter, and doubles as the Metropolitan Bishop of the Methodist Church, Ikeja, Lagos State. He was a former member of the last NCPC board where he represented CAN. In Abuja, Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
To begin the year, some churches engage in fasting and prayers for a specific period. The spiritual exercise prepares the church for the journey in the new year. First Baptist Church Garki is not an exception, as the church concludes her 21 days fasting with a call on Christians to keep the faith and trust in God, who is able to do all things. Charity Zakka reports.
Commonly referred to as White Robe Sunday, it is a tradition with First Baptist Church Garki after it concludes with its 21 days of fasting and waiting on God with prayers. The church wraps up with Thanksgiving, which is the climax of events. Words of exhortations and some ministrations came in turns for many in the church. It was happy moments, a journey into the new year.
21 days is setting the pace that we will keep up, we will follow the rest of the year. Now we're not going to continue fasting all through, but we'll continue living the life, the type of life that we've talked about, to encourage people to walk in holiness, walk in the right path, and to continue in prayers and to continue in expectation of the Lord.
In the message, Christians were advised not to relent in prayers and service to God.
We hold on to the theme for the year that says it's our year of super abundance. And the end of the prayer and fasting is not the end of our looking up to God.
We should enhance this practice. It's very important. If we engage in fasting and prayers, at the end of it, there is always a reward.
Charity Zakka, NTA News.
The National Hospital is putting in place a 4 to 8 year plan that will transform the facility for better service delivery. This formed the thrust of a workshop in Abuja that brought together health experts across the territory and beyond. Safia Nyoma Uchi has more.
The workshop, organized by the National Hospital, the Federal Ministry of Health, in collaboration with Vesta Healthcare Partners Nigeria Limited, is intended to identify critical issues to enhance effectiveness.
The 4 to 8 year plan of the National Hospital is a plan that is to re-strategize how the National Hospital is being set up. I've listened to the CMD earlier when he gave us the project status of what is going to be. We need to ensure that the health system in Nigeria is done in a way that we can ensure that all citizens of the country, when they are being referred to the National Hospital, once they are referred to the National Hospital, they have the adequate right environment, the right personnel, the facilities are there.
Out of 100 people that you have been able to treat, you would say you have been able to do very, very well in 95 or 98% of cases. But then in just 1 or 2% or one person that has a problem, the whole world takes it that, you haven't done enough.
Health experts are here together at the National Hospital to develop and implement a 4 to 8 year strategic plan, a new vision of this new CMD. This will project the National Hospital to the next level. With the slogan "Saving Lives," the National Hospital assures Nigerians of optimal best practices that will make the facility a world-class health service provider. Safia Nyoma Uchi, NTA News.
Your flight will be ready shortly now.
Thank you.
breakfast in Paris.
Lunch in London. This could be you, and there's more.
Hey, Mai, tell them more.
Of course. Now this is what I call a win. And this could be you too in the Globe Festival of Joy promo.
By recharging 50,000 Naira or more within a month, you could be among our 100 winners who will win business class tickets from Lagos to Paris to London. If you recharge 100,000 Naira or more in a month, you could be one of the many winners of a premium bungalow in Nigeria. The more you recharge, the more your chances to win.
How was your flight?
Delicious.
Glow Unlimited.
In the world of sports, Francisca Abile is standing by with a reaction on AFCON quarterfinals match.
It's been weeks of crackers, shocks and surprises in the 34th edition of the Africa Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire, where 24 African nations are showing their football power. Of course, 16 teams have been eliminated as we speak, leaving 8 in the quarterfinal stage of the tournament. 8 teams such as Nigeria, Côte d'Ivoire, Cape Verde, Angola, South Africa, Guinea, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Mali, who have been giving good accounts of themselves and now through to the quarterfinals. So far, top 5 African countries with big names such as Morocco, Algeria, Senegal, Egypt, and Ghana have been knocked out of the competition. I'm out to ascertain the expectations of football lovers concerning the AFCON quarterfinals.
Because I'm very sure we'll win, no doubt about it. If we can put the effort we put in our last match, we'll beat them close to 2 or 3-0.
No doubt the boys are doing great. Although we want them to be scoring more goals because the Angola team, they are really good scorers. I see Nigeria winning Angola because Nigeria defense is quite strong and we have a very good goalkeeper.
The only thing is that Nigeria, we have players, but they are not really a team. It's just that each player has their own individual, thing they do.
If we want to go by the way they played in the last match against Côte d'Ivoire, then I would say our expectations are high. But football being what it is, anything can happen because you guys can see what has been going on through the Nations Cup up to date. So we must not relax.
There you have it. The quarterfinal fixtures kick off with Nigeria going up against Angola, and football fans believe the Super Eagles have what it takes to progress. Meanwhile, it's a matter of time to determine who will qualify for the semi-final and subsequently the final. In Abuja, Francisca Abile, NTA News.
Thank you very much for watching the news at 7 p.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Good evening.